I have to do an intro to my Godzilla review because I love Godzilla so much. It took them 5 years to make this film from the original 2014 version, which I absolutely railed on for focusing too much on the humans and for hiding Godzilla the whole damn film.
Oh my god, that is so awesome! I am so happy to bring you this special report to where you cannot see the massive, awesome monster battle. Back to you, Brian. The f is that?
In this film, they take some of that criticism and they fix a little bit of it. You do see Godzilla in the film a little bit more. But here's why ultimately I'm disappointed, but I still want you to see the film because some of the fights are amazing. Some of the fights are awesome. The music is cool. But here's why I'm going to tell you why I'm disappointed. I'm introing this because I'm seeing so many Godzilla fans leaving comments on the critics' reviews of these movie reviews where we're mad or we're disappointed. And I go on a huge angry rant in my actual review, which you'll see here in a second. But I need to tell you, 2014 Godzilla, not much Godzilla, badass ending fight. This Godzilla, more monsters for Godzilla to fight and go up against, but somehow, even though there's more fights in it, somehow they still find a way to cut away. How do they cut away? They constantly cut away to the human characters. There's like, it'll be a fight, and then we'll cut to, looking for Millie Bobby Brown. Or while the fight is going on. That stuff bothers me so much. Or Rodan and Ghidorah go after each other. Or this and that, and then we cut away. We get a little bit of it, and then we cut away. Or we're constantly looking at the human characters. And unfortunately, in this film, the human characters are just as bad, if not worse, because they're written worse than the original. And that is why I had a problem with the film. And I just wanted to preface this. And if you want to downvote the video because I am a little bit giving the film tough love because I love Godzilla so much, that's fine. I know for a lot of Godzilla films, you just want to see fights and you want to see more monsters and you want to see Godzilla more, which is why you should be on my side because they try to offer you that and they know you want that, but still they're cutting away from the fights. There's not like one complete fight where you can see in its entirety without a bunch of fucking ash and storm and night and dark covering it all up or cutting away to the human characters running around like we give a shit. We don't give a shit about the human characters. All right, so mini rant to the main rant over. And, do with that as you will, guys. From a huge Godzilla fan, I want you to go and see the film. Even though I am disappointed by it, I think maybe it's a little bit better and then worse in some ways than at least in the final fight, it's worse because there's no fight in this one that's as good as the last one. Oh, my gosh. Anyways, we try to articulate it in this one, this review, and then I'll create a separate spoilers discussion, a separate video, so that this video isn't too long. All right, guys? Check it out. And if you hate me because I didn't like the film and you like the film, that's fine, whatever. But go out and watch it and see whether you land on our side or you're just simply entertained because you wanted to go to a movie and there was some entertainment there, or if you expected a little bit more from the sequel and from 5 years of development, and if you're a big Godzilla fan. All right? Check it out. We just got back from Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and I'm pissed! You didn't even I'm going on an angry rant, guys. Let me do this real quick, and then I'll let you talk forever.
Got it.
I gotta do this, guys. Seriously. You didn't listen to a damn word I said last time. I'm blowing out the mic. I'm gonna pull this away from my face. What the hell? Nobody gives a crap about the humans. Stop cutting away from the monster battles to focus on the humans running around doing their stupid drama. That was the problem in the first film, and it is a huge problem in the second film. We get like 3 fights, and each one of these fights are constantly interrupted. There's like 20 seconds of fight, 25 seconds of humans running around on the ground while the fight is happening just off screen. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I don't think American directors, I don't think Hollywood understands why we love Godzilla. Why Godzilla is popular worldwide. It is not the characters that you show, the human characters, the brand new people. It's not Millie Bobby Brown, Bobby Millie Brown. It's not any of that. It is Godzilla, it is Mothra, it is Rodan, and it's Ghidorah. And this film has all of those, but it's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a monster brawl. We get a monster brawl, and we see some of it, but most of it is in the background. For Christ's sake, the first film, remember that first boring-ass film? At least that had a continuous fight for more than, like 5 minutes there at the end of the film. And it was awesome. He just ripped open his jaw and he goes, atomic breath down his throat. It was fucking amazing. Now, granted, we have to wait an hour and 10 minutes to get there with all the boring human shit. But at least they gave us one complete fight. This film does not have one complete fight, that it isn't interrupted by these useless, terrible, cliched characters over and over. Now, it is mixed. There are good characters, but it's mixed. And I can't believe, and I don't understand it. And this is sort of like what in video games, in the box arts, they always focus like real highly on like the human characters and make the heads all big and shit. And say, hey, humans, hey, actors. Sometimes these spectacle films, it's not about that. It's about the spectacle. It's about the monsters, not the drama that's happening on the ground. I did way too much of that. There are so many tropes in this film. Like, and you are rescued at the last minute by Godzilla. And I'm like, yeah, that's an epic moment. And then, oh, yeah, now Godzilla helping me, yeah. And then, you already did this 3 times. This is the 4th time you're doing it. It's fucking stupid. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I think I'm done.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with you. The primary focus for me going into this were the monsters, which, when they were on screen, I fucking enjoyed. Mm-hmm. It looked beautiful whenever that happened, but they cut away so much on this. It's like, look, I don't care about the characters, the acting or whatever, the plots, I don't care about it.
So you agree? You were just as frustrated?
Yes, I wanted more of the monsters.
So I wanted more of the monsters going into this. And then when the first trailer got released, you were super excited, and you were super excited.
Because of the
and
chaos
I was mad. When that first trailer came out, I was pissed.
Why?
Because the entire trailer was showing Millie Bobby Brown running around and other characters doing other things, and we got a little bit of monster fight. And I had this feeling.
They were saving it for the movie.
I got worried. I was like, oh shit, is it going to be this kind of distribution like it was in, however many years ago, that we're going to get all of the human characters, which, if you're going to give me the human characters, make their dialogue fun or relevant, make the story good. I don't, I wanted more monsters, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do the thing where you're like, look, I want to have a monster movie with dialogue that matters, make the dialogue matter. Yeah. It didn't matter. It was stupid. Mm-hmm. You had bad comic relief.
Oh, yeah.
Really bad comic relief.
None of the jokes are funny.
None
of them. Not a single one made me laugh.
I didn't even know there were jokes. I thought it was
there were jokes.
Yeah, they tried.
I guess I missed them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Went right over it. Yeah, right, because they're so poorly executed that you're like, was that a joke or is that guy just a weirdo?
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. They have a scientist. The side characters, every single one, except for the Japanese scientist guy, I forget his name, is shitty. I hated it. I hated this family. The father.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the film is all centralizes around this family. Basically back in San Francisco, the original film, there was a lot of chaos and they lost their, son. This happens right at the beginning. They don't even show the son dying or anything. So it tears his family apart. You've got the father and mother are, estranged from each other. And the father is just the most generic character.
I hate Godzilla because I hate him.
I hate
him more than anything.
And the mother character, frankly, excuse my language, but she's a huge bitch.
Yeah.
She's just a fucking huge bitch. She is an unlikable character, and they do that a little bit on purpose, I think. But then they try to do a redemption arc a little bit for her. Does not work because she's completely unlikable, and she really drags the film down. Stranger Things girl, she's average. She does her job.
I don't think she did a bad job.
No.
I hated her in the film, not because of what she said or what she did, is because anytime I saw her, it was after Godzilla grabs someone by like another monster. He's going to take a bite out, and then we get her like running again. It's like, no, go! I want to see that other part.
Like we're in the final climactic battle. We're cutting to, where's my daughter? I didn't find my daughter. Nobody cares. We don't care. You're cutting. What audience are you making this for? That's what makes me so fucking angry. You know that people came to this for the monster fights. For Christ's sake, you title it King of the Monsters. You inject supposedly 17 monsters in here. And yet, for some reason, the battles in this feel less climactic, less clear, more shaky, more cut away from constantly than the first film, where it extremely pissed me off when they did that. You remember the doors are closing. I'm like, stop it. I want to see the battle. The doors close, in that first film.
Like, oh, you can't see.
Well, now this film, doors close every 20 seconds, and then they open, and then they close, and then they open, and then they close. It's like, you don't understand this. This guy is what we wanted to see. I don't know if you can see Godzilla on the green screen, but he is who I went to this movie for. And when the scenes, Joe's right, when the scenes of the monsters are fully realized and you're focusing on the monsters and you get that badassery from Godzilla, because he is a badass in this film, and he does his job just like in all the movies that I've seen so many Godzilla films. It's like, more of this, more, and you had the focus in the wrong area.
The first time Godzilla showed up, I was excited, and the theater was completely quiet. And then he shows up, and people lost their goddamn minds because it was so cool. And then
They should have started from right there.
and then they just kept cutting away, and then we see little bits of it, and then it's like foggy outside, and then like the things are falling in front of the monsters. They do this constantly where they want to show the monsters fighting in the background because they want to show you these human characters, and I'm
I
straining.
think they want to show you like the scale of it. It's
Yeah.
like, stop it. We know the scale. There's buildings right next to them.
No,
Yeah.
compared to humans, though.
Oh yeah, and then I just didn't care. Like you see, like humans getting squished. I don't care. One of the monsters got shoved through a skyscraper. I don't care about the one human just got smushed. There were probably a lot of humans in that building that are now squished.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So they try to focus too much on like the family and like, let's try to help out Godzilla. And every like 5 seconds, something always goes wrong. I was like, oh, I got some bad news. I got bad news.
Oh, that's broken. Well,
Yeah.
we got to do this. Oh, it's broken.
Come on.
We got to do
Fire the weapons.
Oh, they're broken
Do whatever
too.
the fuck you need to do. Get it over with. Let's move to the monsters. I want to see.
That's when
that.
I pulled up my phone and I was so pissed because it was like, fucking hangar doors are stuck. I don't give a fuck. The battle is happening over there. Show the
Yes.
battle. Don't fucking show
And that
you
was so
unsticking
cool.
hangar doors.
Well, then there's this main character who's a wildlife photographer who knows how to fix fucking everything. He's like, this doesn't work. Oh, I'm going to go fix it. It's like, dude, you're a dude. You're just some dude you've never been on a sub before. Never. You're going to fix the weapon system? Fuck you.
Here is the fucking thing, and not only, okay, so like tying into what Alex just said, if you are going to show the humans that much, if you are going to focus on the human story, if you're going to try to improve, because honestly, Godzilla films, they do a lot of human stuff, right? But then in the Japanese ones, they give you the payoff. You get to see battles intercut in between that, not intercut with the humans interrupting the battles every fucking time, but you get these big set piece sequences. If you're gonna make the human part better, right? Maybe that's the takeaway that these idiots and this director and these writers fucking took away. Oh, everybody hated the humans in the first film and they wanted to see more of the monsters. Okay, I know what they want. They wanted us to make the humans better, but they made them worse. The dialogue is worse than the first film. The tropes are through the roof. Yeah. There's all these Deus Ex Machinas over and over and over. So you're about to get killed. Godzilla shows up. You're about to get. Godzilla shows up. You're about to get. Oh, you're about to press a button. Oh, it's broken. Oh, no. And not only that, But the human part of the story and the story itself, it is overstuffed. This film is 2 hours long, and there's barely any like focus on the Godzilla fights, because you have to focus on the global destruction. You have to focus on why they're showing up. You have to go underwater and do this whole fucking storyline about a lost ancient civilization. You're like, what? What is happening? Why? Okay. You're trying to make this as epic as, say, Aquaman, and it's not working, because in Aquaman, I at least cared about Aquaman and the human characters in it. In this film, I care about the monsters, and they did not focus on the monsters. It was overstuffed, and it was just interrupting all of the good stuff. And I'm tired. I would love for CinemaSins or some of the other YouTube channels to intercut how many times debris pieces almost hit. Oh, here's a jet falls over your head. Oh, a helicopter falls over your head. Oh, a car falls over your head. Oh, a chunk of rock falls over here. Oh, flames go this. It happens so god dang much. It takes completely away all of the tension, all of the fear that the characters that you're watching are going to die because they escape these things on a regular basis every fucking time. It is a huge trope.
Yeah, cynical as this sounds, I wanted them just to die. They would be like, oh, we don't get to see them anymore. Now let's focus on Godzilla.
Great.
Well, they're dead. Sorry.
Well, that's a good point, Joe. I wanted them to die. We would have focused on Godzilla more.
Yeah.
They kept trying to focus on characters that didn't matter. There was, at the end of the film, there's a random extra that we don't know that she gets something stuck in her leg and they're having to carry her around.
Yes.
There's like 3 or 4 scenes like them carrying this woman and trying to like save her while
she had one line in the film, but yet we're focusing on her.
Boston is leveled. Everyone in that entire city is dead. Everyone is dead, but they're like, we got to save this one woman. And they keep showing her when the fight to end all fights on Earth is happening, and they're like, this woman's leg, though.
So you see all that apocalyptic destruction in the trailers, and you think you get to see that destruction from, the normal capital down to a ruined capital.
And that's what sold me.
But you don't. No. They just show up and, we just show up. Oh, this is happening all around the world kind of thing. And let's rush through it, and then let's go more humans, and let's go more submarines and flying Vs. They have this flying fortress, which is cool as fuck. I like the fact that, we get a little bit of human action in here now, not like the originals where they've got the electric tanks and the things like that. Those things are cool. So actually they did that better as well in the Japanese versions. Mm-hmm. But at least they do have some jets in this one for the humans who get to participate in the battle in a
They're completely and totally ineffective.
way.
So you build this giant human army. We're going to have this, that you see it in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. You see these humans. There was not one point in the entire movie where the humans did anything effective.
Yeah,
in their planes?
except for one thing. We could talk about it in spoilers.
Yeah, but that's
have a
something.
problem.
Yeah, we have to drive the plot, and so we made something up that doesn't make any sense. And then but you have all these jets, and you have tanks, and you have army. They do nothing. They do absolutely nothing.
So what did they get right?
For me, I liked the first and the third act. The middle was very slow, and I didn't really care about. I liked the way it was going, the setup and everything. I was like, all right, cool, you got me. And then it started messing up in the middle point because it started focusing on stuff I didn't care about. What they did do right was the CGI was great. The cinematography was amazing. That alone, I wanted to see more of.
Yeah.
The way everything was popping up, like all these monsters were popping up, I wanted them to focus more on that. Like, so like show like some military, like for like a minute
from these
or two,
different
like,
countries trying to
he
do
said
their thing.
we're spread out thin as it is. We're trying to fight these monsters. Show me like 2 minutes of that from each like place. That would have been cool.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, but that was cool.
There were individual scenes that were absolutely excellent. There's moments where Godzilla first shows up is amazing. Godzilla first, the second time Godzilla meets other monsters, there's actually these like really wide shots that are gorgeous. They're going to be everyone's like wallpaper on their desktop, where you see one monster here and one monster here, and they're getting ready to square off. And there's some really, really beautiful things. But then we get that scene, and it goes back into like humans running away for debris, and that's when they lost me. So they had really great stuff that would just immediately fall into average. This movie had worse fight scenes than Rampage. You remember Rampage? How god awful that one was.
Yeah.
But at least The Rock is charming.
The action was good.
The
and
dialogue
they
in that movie was
focused on it.
terrible, and the story was terrible. But at least the fight scenes, you actually saw a full fight in Rampage. And Rampage was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I agree. So basically, the best parts of this film are the monster fights.
Yeah.
I think we get 3 big monster fights. And they're great with the characters that I know and love. These fucking classics, these legends of the screen.
Yeah.
And you cut away during those fights. But the parts that are shown are great. Stop cutting away. This film would have been elevated to an amazing level for me. And if you're a huge Godzilla fan and you like it, I could see kind of what you're doing. But you're like blind. You're like you're putting up with so much crap in order to get the good parts. And we deserve better than that, man. It's just Hollywood and the Americans don't fucking understand Godzilla, apparently. They think it's all about the character surrounding Godzilla and not Godzilla himself. And then when Godzilla shows up, gives Godzilla the beat down and make him look like a badass. But we're going to focus mostly on the human characters. You know what? Do the unexpected. Focus on Godzilla. Focus on the relationship between these monsters, which they do a tiny bit here. They set up a tiny bit, and it's like, I can see they understand, but they didn't want to do it. They thought that the amazing actors of Charles Dance is in this film, which he plays a great character and a believable character, and then the mother and father and Millie. No, no, they don't carry the film, and they focus on them most of the way. The only guy, the Japanese scientist guy, is the only character arc that I really appreciated, and I thought it worked. Even at its conclusion, I was like, this is great. It's the only thing that made me feel a little bit of emotion, the connection to Godzilla, and it's like, we are pet, he's our pet, no, we are his pet. There's a symbiotic relationship there, and so they touch on some of the themes that previous Godzilla films and Japanese Godzilla films have brought up, but just, really focusing on the wrong areas and cutting away is the most frustrating thing ever. They were giving us really good scenes, but you're cutting away from them. It's like, I want to slap you.
And it wasn't cutting away to something important or relevant. It was just, you see if they cut away to something where, like, we have to make the doodad work to make this happen and this happen.
They do that.
Yeah, they do.
But that's its own separate scene.
But most of the cutaway scenes is just to people running away. And they're like, oh, hey, we got to go save this person. It's like, the scale that you've done a really good job showing me how big these fights are. Citywide, everything's leveled, no building is safe.
You do that a little bit at the beginning, and then you show it off like the first film. I can't believe I'm praising the first film at all, but at least that film gave us that final battle scene, and they mostly stayed on the monsters. So let's go and give it some final verdicts now.
I think this is a good popcorn flick. I did enjoy it for the parts where you see Godzilla and the rest of the monsters fight. Like I said, I didn't really care about the actors. I guess they just got them to fill seats. But Godzilla alone is enough star power. I would have gone
put
for
butts
that.
in the seats.
You could have had no-named actors. It's like Godzilla movie. I was like, all right, I'll go see that. Still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was torn between a 6 or a 7. I think I'm probably just going to give this a 6, but I recommend you go see it, and maybe we'll get to see the Godzilla versus King Kong.
If people go and see this, if this
King
bombs,
Kong?
we're not going to see it. No, I think we're seeing it regardless of whether this bombs or not, because it's coming out next year, Joe. And me and Joe have had this debate forever. Joe says King Kong is going to win. I say Godzilla's going to win.
How does King Kong win?
Exactly.
It's the stupidest thing possible.
Now let's beat him up. Let's beat him up right now.
No,
So
it's not.
I want this. If that's the case, like if you were right, I want this movie to fail so hard that they stop making that movie
No.
because it's going to be. There's no way you show off you actually show off Godzilla really well in this movie. That like he is very powerful.
Yeah.
You're no way a giant ape beats this
I
giant
know.
murder.
I
It
agree.
is the
We'll
dumbest
see
thing
about
possible.
I fucking
that.
agree. Joe, you're so wrong.
If maybe it's like okay, this movie is the combination of two extremes, right? So I loved maybe 20% of this movie, and I hated the rest. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to come up with something that kind of matches everything together.
And those highs are very high, and the lows are very
There was nothing.
average.
There was nothing in this movie that was better than the final fight scene in the first Godzilla.
Yeah, which is crazy because you have Ghidorah, you have Rodan, you have Mothra, and you still are not able to overcome what we saw that final battle fighting the mutant?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, nothing.
Really? See, that's why it gets me mad and doing angry rants. Oh, just wait for my score. Go ahead.
So this is a movie that if it didn't have any of the CG stuff, like this is like a 3 or a 4. The dialogue's terrible, the story is terrible, and I was actually even more disappointed with the way that the monsters were depicted. It was great while it was there, but the fact that it was there and they like teased me with it kind of pisses me off. I'm gonna give this one a 5.
You can see the amazing movie here. You can see the passion and love that went into depicting Godzilla in the most badass way possible. And yes, me personally, I love practical Godzilla. I love practical effects, and I do miss some of that because it's just pure CGI. But when you do pure CGI, you get to see really cool shit like Rodan doing this fucking special move where he does a fucking barrel roll and he fucking destroys jets in the air, and you see the pilots. It's just fucking awesome. And then we cut away to fucking Millie Bobby Brown running around. You know, and she's And so the highs are highs and the lows are low. And what happens, in my opinion, and because it's so insulting, because you have the rights to all these other monsters, and you know why people are in the theater, and you know why the King of the Monsters film, in the classic King of the Monster films, they take all the monsters, they throw them on the planet and say, fight! And then they fucking fight! And they stay out of it! The humans stay out of it! The aliens that brought them there stay out of it for the most part, alright? And in this film, they just jerk their stupid fucking faces in the fight down here. The camera is constantly down here. I want the camera more here, which it is. In certain shots, the ones that you gave it props for, them wide shots and stuff, we needed more of that. And so because the difficulty curve gets more difficult as you put out sequels, because you should be learning lessons, you didn't learn any lessons here.
I think that this was
You didn't learn the
this was a
lesson.
layup for them. This was, really, really easy for them to make something really successful, which was one of the reasons why I knocked probably another point off, is because this movie was easy. I was the easiest audience, I don't think that I'm unrealistic.
I'm the easiest for Godzilla.
All you have to do is show them doing cool things. You can set everything up in the first, the first act can just be all humans setting everything up, and then just ramp into more cool monster stuff. But they just constantly put you in and out and in and out, and they had the tools to make something successful, and they fucked it up.
They fucked it up. They done fucked it up. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you saying King Kong had a better movie?
Which one? I just watched King Kong yesterday.
Skull Island, King Kong.
Honestly, I never
win.
saw that one.
Another win for Kong.
God dang it, Joe. Just you wait. That film is
How
coming
does he get off the
anyway, Joe.
island?
I'm gonna
He's going to be stuck on Skull Island.
He's fucking with me. $20
Come on,
right
son.
now that
Let's do
Godzilla
it.
wins. $20 Godzilla wins.
No,
Next year, Godzillaverse. And here's another thing. They use this film to set up Godzilla. Did you notice? We'll talk about it in spoil. We've already spoiled a little bit here because of my love for Godzilla. And come on, this is like the 29th film of Godzilla, so whatever. Anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about it in the spoiler section. But they set up a universe here. I gave them a pass. Because that first Godzilla film, I gave them a pass because there was a great battle at the end, and they set up Monarch, and they set up, okay, so this is going to try to be a universe, and they're going to try to bring in all these other monsters. They show, like, little depictions of Mothra and all the other monsters, and it's like, all right, here we go. This one is going to go Wrath of Khan, and they don't go Wrath of Khan. Oh, actually, Wrath of Khan is playing in the background, but there's like, hey, woo, woo, focus here, Wrath of Khan, woo. And I'm like, I told you in the first film not to fucking do that. Don't fucking do that. We don't care about the humans. So that's why you get a 5 out of fucking 10. And you false started. And now you're again here. And you're expecting me all of a sudden, maybe the director of Godzilla vs. King Kong will get it.
I hope so.
I think they will. Because at this point, when you have 2 megastars, now they know 2 megastars, King Kong and Godzilla. They're not going to fucking put Millie Bobby Brown and this fucking generic father and the fucking mother.
Did you watch Batman v Superman?
Yeah, but they focused on Batman v Superman.
Do you remember
Anyways,
Lex Luthor in the...
That's a bad...
Yes.
No, that's a bad analogy. But, I don't want this shit. I want this shit. Maybe they'll get it right. And I'll tell you what. This is your 3rd strike. If you fuck that film up, that's 3 strikes. You're out! You're out of there. Americans can no longer do Godzilla films. In fact, you can give the Hollywood give all the money to Japan if they want their own Godzilla, and then let Japan do it, and then or let Japan do the story, the directing, ship them over here, do the film, done. They'll give you the right Godzilla film. All right, that's it for us. Stay tuned for spoiler section, and I'm just mad. And if you're a Godzilla fan and you like this film, I can understand why, because, hey, we're getting new Godzilla films, and I love them. But as a fan, this is tough love. We deserve more, and you know it. All right, we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.